Hello you most beautiful and most amazing top teners. Guess who's back? Back again. It's the lovely Courtney McGinley. Hooray! Today we are hosting the top 10 scariest moments in a horror film part 2. I had to do part 1 on my own and it was horrible, so I've enlisted a good friend, lovely Courtney.
Hi guys.
You might have seen Courtney on Most Amazing Top 5. It is a lot like this channel but with 5 points rather than 10, so if you have a little less time to watch a whole top 10 but still want some entertaining, Courtney will do it for you.
So yes, top 5, it is a lot like this channel. Like Rebecca said, we do 5 points, so they're only about 3 to 4 minutes long, so you can get your info a lot quicker, and it's a bit less detailed, but you still get your information.
Oh, you could watch them with a nice cup of tea.
Yes!
So Courtney loves a good scary movie. Tell us your favourite.
It would probably be The Exorcist.
Oh!
Yeah, the classics. Yeah.
In at number 10, we have the Human Centipede, the science scene. I mean, I can't decide whether it is hammy or sick or horrifying or all of the above, but the whole movie is definitely gross, so it definitely fills the quota of this list. By now, we all know about the movie The Human Centipede, right? Well, in case you haven't, it is about a mad German scientist who wants to stitch people together. Yes, like, you know, a mouth. Ugh. Why is he doing this? Well, the clue is in the title. He wants to make a human centipede. The scariest scene for me is when he has captured his 3 victims and they're trapped in a hospital-style bed while the mad scientist explains what he is going to do to them. I mean, can you imagine how you would be feeling? They always say the anticipation of death is worse than death itself, and this is some anticipation. Oh my goodness.
In at number 9, The Grudge. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're talking about the Japanese version or the American one, this scene is equally creepy in both films. I'm going to be talking about the American version though because that's the one I'm more familiar with. So in this movie that came out in 2004, in it we follow a woman named Karen who is played by Sarah Michelle Gellar as she moves to Tokyo. She is temporarily assigned to be a caretaker to a woman who has a severe sleeping disorder. Once in the house, she's shocked to find out that this house is plagued by a murderous ghost. In this particular scene, we see this spirit come down the stairs and its body is all contorted and it's cracking and it's making this extremely disturbing noise. Yeah, it's just really disturbing. But apparently that's what people like because this movie killed it in the box office. Working off a $10 million budget, this movie ended up earning $187 million. So yeah, that's really impressive.
In at number 8, we have Scream 1, the opening sequence. So the Scream franchise took the 90s and early noughties by storm. Nobody can really argue that the first Scream movie wasn't culturally important as it redefined slasher movies for the modern age. The opening sequence to Scream 1 is absolutely terrifying. It starts off with a girl, Casey, making popcorn when she receives what she thinks is a series of prank calls. The light banter takes an ominous turn with a series of outdoor shots. The then unidentified caller asks for the girl's name as he says, and I quote, "I want to know who I'm looking at." That's definitely the accent. She freaks out, but the caller says, "Hang up on me again and I will cut you like a fish." He also says he wants to see what her insides look like. Gross. Her boyfriend, who she said was on his way to her house, then gets cut open, and then it's Casey's turn to be cut like a fish.
Number 7, The Conjuring 2, Nun painting scene. This is an extremely terrifying scene if I've ever saw one. Do not watch this movie right before you go to bed because if you do, you're just not going to be able to sleep ever again. And this movie was marked one of the scariest horror movies of all time. And it came out earlier this year. In it we have paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren traveling to Britain to assist the Hodgson family who are experiencing poltergeist activities in their home. And while overall the entire movie is creepy, this one scene really sticks out. So Lorraine spots this creepy nun spirit in her house and she follows it down a long hallway into a studio room where there are a lot of paintings. As her back is turned, we see the nun. Looks like the real thing. Then she turns on the light and we just see it as a painting. A really creepy, really realistic painting, but a painting. Then out of nowhere, the recorder starts playing Glory to the Newborn King and the light goes out. Lorraine turns the light back on and this is when we see the nun's shadow travel against the wall and into her painting. And then lunges at Lorraine and you get goosebumps all over your body and you just can't get that creepy nun's face out of your mind and you know you have nightmares for a week. Number 6, Dead Silence Clown Scene. So I'm just gonna let you know now, if you're not a fan of ventriloquist dolls, then don't watch this movie. This movie came out in 2007 and it's a supernatural psychological horror film. In this movie, we learn about a woman named Mary Shaw who haunts the town. During her popularity, she was accused of killing a little boy, so she was executed by the townspeople. Not only did they kill her, they also cut out her tongue. So as years go by, she's haunting the town along with her ventriloquist dolls. And the way she kills you is by you screaming. Once you scream, she rips out your tongue. So in this scene, we have the main character who corners Mary Shaw as her spirit is in the body of a clown doll, and see a bunch of dolls, and then Mary reveals that it's hard to make her ventriloquist dolls, and that sometimes she has to use existing parts. Then this extremely creepy clown doll sticks out its tongue, and it's a real life tongue, which, don't get me wrong, is gross, but then this is on a whole new level of creepy when you see Mary Shaw behind the doll and her tongue is going through the clown's mouth. That's just one freakishly long tongue. Then the closer you look, you see the one big tongue is actually a bunch of little tongues all attached together. Then you realize that these are all the tongues of her victims. And then you want to hide under covers and wish you never watched this disturbing movie in the first place.
I feel like the moral of the story there is the less tongue, the better. Life lessons. In at number 5, we have The Fly with the acid hand scene. Blah. This 1986 remake of the 1950s horror classic The Fly is arguably even scarier than the original. Scientist Seth Brundle accidentally fuses his genetic makeup with a housefly, sparking an awful metamorphosis into a giant fly. Before he realizes this, he begins an affair with a journalist named Veronica, who has a jealous ex, Borans. To cut a long story short, the love triangle doesn't have a happy ending. As Borans tries to rescue Veronica from Brundle, Brundle, in a hybrid fly-like state, vomits a corrosive acid onto Borans' hand, which promptly melts before our very eyes. The fly then also vomits the acid on Borans' leg. As Veronica steps in and accidentally pulls part of Brundle's face off, things go from bad to much worse very quickly. This film looks so realistic, the makeup artists working on it even won an Academy Award.
Number 4, Jeepers Creepers Eating Tongue Scene. Yeah, as you can tell from the title, this point is going to take an especially gruesome turn. For those of you who don't know, Jeepers Creepers is a 2001 American horror film. In this movie, we follow two siblings who are on their way home for spring break when they see a mysterious person dumping something down a tunnel. Being curious, they decide to go and see what it is. It was then that they make a horrific discovery that this tunnel actually leads to an underground lair full of hundreds of modified bodies that are stitched together covering the walls. They set off to find help, but the person, or should I say the thing that dumped the body down the tunnel, realizes that they discovered his secret, so he goes after them. During this chase, many people are brutally killed, including a police officer. The creature slices off the officer's head, and then the creature picks up the head and proceeds to suck out the tongue. This is one of the most cringeworthy movie scenes you will ever see. It's just beyond disturbing.
In at number 3, we have Alien, the chestbuster scene. Ugh. One of Ridley Scott's best films ever is indeed Alien, but my god, it was scary. The film is about an extraterrestrial life on board a spaceship. The 1979 movie was a huge hit and remains culturally iconic to this day, especially this scene. Spaceship crew member Kane is attacked by an alien that clings onto his face. Luckily, or so we think, it falls off his face and eventually he recovers. He and his fellow crew members are eating together, laughing off the incident, with Kane saying he can't wait to get home to eat real food. He starts seemingly choking. The choking becomes more violent, and then suddenly an alien pops out of his chest, like, surprise! Gross. Actually give me nightmares forever.
In at number 2, Saw Reverse Bear Trap Scene. If you've seen the Saw movies, then you know they're really terrifying. This movie revolves around several instincts and how far you would go to protect your own life. One of the most frightening and iconic scenes is from the first Saw movie. In this scene, Jigsaw explains that the device Amanda is wearing is attached to her upper and lower jaw, and that when the timer goes off, her mouth will permanently be ripped open. In order to find the key to free herself, she needs to kill and dig through her cellmate's stomach to find the key. Yeah, all these Saw movies and games are terrifying and gruesome, but this one is definitely the most iconic.
Okay, we are at the number 1 point, but I would like to get Courtney back with me because I am just too scared to do this on my own. Courtney, come back. We can get through this together. In at number 1, we have a scene from The Thing, and it is the chest defibrillation scene. Oh my god. I don't even know where to start. This is officially worse than anything in part 1, and I just can't. Like, how do you feel about guts and slime?
I'm not a fan. No, don't like it.
So you thought nothing could get worse than Chestbuster in Alien, but indeed it does. Why, John Carpenter? Why? Basically, The Thing is an American sci-fi horror about a shape-shifting extraterrestrial life form on an Antarctic research station. Things go from 0 to 100 in the horror stakes pretty fast, although if there were ever a scene that escalated quickly, it is this one. In the much famed chest defibrillator scene, Norris has a heart attack.
A quick-thinking coworker, Cooper, provides the electrical reviver thingy, but instead of jolting Norris back to life, oh well, it provokes some kind of demon living in his stomach.
This is intense. His stomach literally opens up, bites off Cooper's arms, leaving him with bloody stumps. Why is this the second time that I've mentioned stomach bursting in one video? I don't even know. A slimy, angry bug-like beast blasts out of its stomach, and the only option is to kill it with fire. Too bad the head of Norris' corpse also wants to join the party, with lots of pus and a really long tongue.
When the severed head sprouts eyes, I'm out.
Me too. Let's just leave because this is too much.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me in this video. I don't know. I like scary movies, but you know, when corpses and their heads come off and there are tongues and eyes, I feel like it's just
too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching Most Amazing Top 10. Once again, you can check out Most Amazing Top 5 with the lovely Courtney McGinley if you want a shorter list. So do let us know what you thought to today's list. What is your favourite scary movie? Let us know in the comment section down below.
We will see you next time.
Yeah.
See you over on the Top 5 channel.
See you on the Top 5 channel. If you like this video, press the thumbs up button, share it with a friend, and of course subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10.